watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
Welcome to FSPN's coverage of South Florida High School baseball. We're in a Class 6A Game 3 of a semifinal baseball game between the home team, the Braddock Bulldogs, and the visiting Doral Academy Firebirds. This game has been delayed over an hour and a half from lightning, and we're about to get underway. We're going to be right back with the starting lineups and the defense right after this. Welcome to FSPN's coverage of South Florida High School baseball. We have a deciding Game 3 between the Braddock Bulldogs and the Doral Academy Firebirds. After an hour and a half lightning delay, the officials and both head coaches are discussing the start of this game. So we'll be right back with the starting lineups and the defense of this Class 6A Region 4 semifinal Game 3 from Braddock Field. Welcome to FSPN's coverage of South Florida High School baseball. Finally, after a 2-hour lightning delay, Game 3 is about to get started in this best-of-3 series for the Class 6A semifinal between the visiting Doral Academy Firebirds and the home team, the Braddock Bulldogs. The coaches and the umpires are going over the details now, and we're about to get underway. We'll be right back with the starting lineups and the defense right after this.
And the head coach of the Bulldogs in his second year, we've got Harold Martinez.
All right, welcome back. We're finally going to get the Game 3 of the Region 4 semifinal game underway between the home team, the Braddock Bulldogs, and the visiting Firebirds. After a very long lightning delay, we are now going to get this game underway. Your battery on the mound for the home team, the Bulldogs. It's a right-hander, Jesus Moreno. Behind the plate, it'll be Mikey Sanchez. At first base, you have Andy Sarmiento. Playing second base, it's Adam Hernandez. The senior, the Nova commit, Manny Sanchez, is at shortstop, and Brian Martinez is at third base for the Bulldogs. Gonzalez in right field, Marcelo Torres in center field, and Sebastian Llamosas in left field for the home team, the Bulldogs. Leading it off for the Firebirds of Doral, the third baseman, number 28, Gabriel Milano. And like I mentioned earlier, after a 2-hour lightning delay, we're about to get Game 3 of this best-of-3 series underway. Here's the first pitch from Moreno. And that one's high and deep. Y sácamela, Gaby. Sácamela, Gabriel Moreno. A leadoff bomb for the Firebirds. Puts Doral ahead 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. 2 pitches. And that's all it took to leave the yard. Jaden Nunez steps in and quickly grounds to Martinez. Throws him out for the first out of the inning. 1-0 game, top of the first inning from Braddock Field. The Firebirds send up the right-handed hitting Caleb Hernandez. And that one's hit high to the right side. Gonzalez dives, he can't come up with it. Hernandez with a stand-up double. The Firebirds are going to send up the center fielder, the senior George Pardo, to face Moreno with 1 out and a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning from Braddock Field. Moreno was the pitcher of record in game 1. He took the loss for the Bulldogs. Here comes the head coach of the Braddock Bulldogs, Harold Martinez, to have a talk with his senior, Jesus Moreno. There's been a pitching change for the Braddock Bulldogs. Replacing Moreno is the right-hander, the senior, the sidearmer, Eduardo Echavarria. Echavarria, the new pitcher for the Bulldogs. And a 1-0 lead here at the top of the first inning. And they send to the plate Leandro Hernandez to face the new pitcher, Eddie Echavarria. Strike 3 called for the second out of the inning. A strikeout for Eduardo Echavarria. With 2 on and 2 out in the top of the first inning in a 1-0 game, the Firebirds send up to the plate the second baseman Dylan Prince to face Eddie Echavarria. A free pass to Dylan Prince, and that'll bring up the catcher, Javen Francois. 2 outs and the bases loaded for the Firebirds. The catcher, Francois, steps in. That one gets away from Sanchez, ricochets off the wall, and the runners have to stay put. Sanchez handles that ground ball for the third out of the inning. The Firebirds are going to leave 3, but they get 1. And we head to the bottom of the first inning, 1-0 here from Bulldog Field. And you're watching FSPN. On the mound for the Firebirds, it's a senior right-hander, Jaden Nunez. His battery mate will be Javen Francois behind the plate. Playing first base is the sophomore, the lefty, Ruvalcaba. Playing second base is the senior, Dylan Prince. The junior, Kobe Carrion, is at shortstop. And playing third base is the junior, Gabriel Milano. In left field for the Firebirds, it's Caleb Hernandez. The senior in center field, George Pardo Jr. And Leandro Hernandez is in right field for the Firebirds. Leading off for the Bulldogs is the second baseman, the senior Adam Hernandez. First pitch to Hernandez is taken for a strike. 1-0 in favor of the visiting Firebirds. We're in the bottom of the first inning from Braddock Bulldog Field. Hernandez comes set. Right at Prince for the first out of the inning. The Bulldogs are going to send up Jorge Gonzalez, the left-handed hitting outfielder, DH, to face Jaden Nunez here in the bottom of the first in a 1-0 game. That one's hit to center field. Pardo's got a beat on it, and that'll be the second out of the bottom of the first inning. The Bulldogs are going to send up the senior shortstop, number 2, Manny Sanchez, to face Nunez with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 in favor of the visiting Firebirds of Doral Academy. Carry-on makes the third out of the inning. The Bulldogs leave none, they get none. We head to the top of the second inning, and your score is 1-0 in favor of the Firebirds, and you're watching FSPN. Welcome back to the top of the second inning in a 1-0 ball game in a Region 4 semifinal deciding Game 3 between the home team, the Braddock Bulldogs, and the visiting Doral Academy Firebirds. And for the Firebirds, up to bat now is the sophomore first baseman, Gavin Rubalcaba. And he's going to face the senior, Eddie Echeverria. Now batting is Gavin Rubalcaba, the sophomore first baseman for the Doral Firebirds. There's a line drive and a clean base hit for the sophomore Rubalcaba to lead off the top of the second inning for the Firebirds. Now stepping into the box for the Firebirds, it's the junior shortstop, Kobe Carrion. Kobe squares to bunt, he lays one down to the right side. Only one way to go, and that's the first base, and a great sacrifice there by the shortstop, Carrion. The difference in this 1-0 game has been a Gabriel Milano home run, and the Bulldogs are taking no chances, and they're going to intentionally walk Gabriel Milano to face Jaden Nunez with no outs and runners on first and second here in the top of the second inning. I apologize, with 1 out in the top of the second inning. The pitcher Nunez will step up and try to help his own cause. With 2 out and 2 on, the Firebirds send up Caleb Hernandez, the left fielder, to face Eddie Echavarria in a 1-0 game. A line drive base hit by Hernandez. They're going to send Ruvalcaba, and the Redbirds are going to score the second run of this afternoon's game. The senior George Pardo Jr. steps into the box for the Firebirds in a 2-0 game, top of the second inning, in a Game 3 semifinal in this District 6A, Class 6A, Region 4, deciding Game 3. Pardo hits one at Fernandez, steps on second for the third out. The Firebirds are going to leave 2, but they get 1, and they lead this game 2-0, heading to the bottom of the second. Welcome back to FSPN's coverage of South Florida High School baseball. It's Game 3, Class 6A, semifinal game between the Braddock Bulldogs and the Doral Firebirds. First pitch swinging is Marcelo Torres, and he skies out one to Pardo, who gets it in center field. A little bit windy here. The batter for the Bulldogs is Brian Martinez, the third baseman. And he'll face Jaden Nunez of the Firebirds that are up 2-0 in this Game 3 semifinal for Class 6A. It's a hard, soft hit grounder to Ruvalcaba. Nunez going to first, he covers for the second out of the inning. With 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning in a 2-0 game, the home Bulldogs send up to bat the dangerous Sebastian Llamosas. Two strikes to Llamosas with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. And that one's hit hard in the left field. Foul ball. Strikeout for Nunez. Nothing across the board for the Bulldogs. We head to the top of the third inning in a 2-0 game. And you're watching FSPN. Leandro Hernandez steps in for the Redbirds in the top of the third inning in a 2-0 game to face Echavarria. That one's hit high and deep to center field, but Torres has got a beat on it. Catches it right in front of the wall for the first out of the inning. Dylan Prince steps into the box for the Firebirds to face Echavarria. Prince hits one high and deep into center field. Torres has a beat on it, and right at the wall, he makes his second out of the inning. With 2 outs in the top of the third inning, the Firebirds send up the catcher, Javen Francois, to face Echavarria and the Bulldogs in this Game 3 of a Class 6A semifinal. The winner to face St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders. The senior comes in to have a few words with the pitcher. in a 2-0 game here at Braddock Bulldog Field. The courtesy runner on first base for Francois, it's Brian Ravello, comes in with 2 outs. The sophomore Ruva Calva steps into the box for the Firebirds. Ravello steals second base with 2 outs in the top of the third and a runner in scoring position. They're calling a balk on a Chavarria, and Ravello will make his way to third base for the Firebirds. There's a line drive and an excellent play by Manny Sanchez for the 3rd out. The Firebirds are going to leave 1. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning in a 2-0 game from Braddock Field, and you're watching FSPN. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning here at Braddock Field in the Class 6A Game 3 semifinal. And the Braddock Bulldogs and the home team are down 0-2. And they send up Andy Sarmiento. And there's one hit high and deep to left field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it's a foul ball. It's a hard hit ball up the middle, and what a catch by Dylan Prince. That brings up the Bulldog catcher, Mikey Sanchez, with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd to face Nunez in a 2-0 game, a semifinal Game 3. Hernandez makes the catch for the 2nd out. 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. The Bulldogs send up Miguel Reyes. Ruvalcaba with a nice scoop at first base for the 3rd out. And we head to the top of the 4th inning with your score 2-0 from Braddock Field, and you're watching FSPN. In the box for the visiting Firebirds that are up 2-0 is the shortstop, Kobe. Carry on. Nobody out at the top of the 4th inning in a 2-0 Game 3 semifinal. Gabo Milano steps in to face Echeverria. 1 out and a runner on first, no outs and a runner on first base for Gabo Milano. And that one's hit high and deep to center field. Torres has got a play on it for the first out of the inning. The pitcher slash DH, Jaden Nunez, steps into the box with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning in a 2-0 game. A decisive game 3 in the Class 6A semifinal regional. That ball hits Nunez. We have a mound visit by pitching coach Jeff. The courtesy runner for the pitcher Jaden Nunez is Jordan Tamargo. Tamargo's the courtesy runner. And up to bat is Caleb Hernandez with 1 out and runners on first and second base. There's a hard hit ball and a diving play. It gets by Yamosas. Carrion is going to score. Tamargo makes it to third, and that's a double for Caleb Hernandez. George Pardo Jr. steps into the box for the Firebirds with runners on second and third base in a 3-0 game. There's a hard hit ball for a base hit. Run number 4. Here comes number 5 for the Redbirds. And George Pardo Jr. comes through with an RBI base hit. Here comes a mound visit from head coach Harold Martinez. And we're going to have a new pitcher coming in this game for the Bulldogs. The new pitcher for the Bulldogs is number 25, Alvaro Perez. Perez, the new pitcher for the Bulldogs. Leandro Hernandez steps in to face the new pitcher, Alvaro Perez, in a 6-0 game in the top of the 4th inning in the Class 6A Game 3 of a semifinal round. The winner will play St. Thomas Aquinas in the final series. Pardo steals second base. And both runners are called out.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
Some defensive changes for the Doral Firebirds. Joshua Cespedes now goes to left field for Caleb Hernandez. And the leadoff batter, the second baseman for the Bulldogs, steps in, Adam Hernandez. Hernandez to face Nunez. The bottom of the fourth inning in a 6-0 Game 3 of a regional semifinal for Class 6A. Hernandez hits one high in the gap to right center field. It one-hops the fence, and he's on his way to second base for a leadoff double for the home Bulldogs. Jorge Gonzalez steps into the box from the left side for the home Bulldogs that are down 6-0. They have their leadoff. The leadoff batter, Adam Hernandez, standing on second base. There's a base hit and maybe more for Sanchez. Hernandez is going to score the first run for the Bulldogs. And Sanchez is on second base. I'm sorry, George Gonzalez is on second base with an RBI double. Pitching coach Williams DeRuthi comes out to have a word with the starter, Nunez. With the runner on second base, the shortstop Manny Sanchez swings at the first pitch. The center fielder steps in, Marcelo Torres, to face Nunez in the bottom of the fourth inning in a 6-1 game. Brian Martinez steps in for the Bulldogs with a runner on first base in a 6-1 game in the bottom of the fourth inning. Martinez hits a clean base hit, and with 2 outs, the Bulldogs have runners on first and second base. Sebastian Llamosa steps in, the left fielder for the Bulldogs, to face Nunez with 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the fourth inning in a 6-1 game in a regional Game 3 semifinal for Region 4. And that one's hit hard, high and deep, and you could say bye-bye to that one. Sebastian Llamosa does it again. And the score is 6-4. Things are getting a little chirpy here. The Bulldogs get a firm talking to by home plate umpire, keeping things under control. Adam Sarmiento steps into the box for the Bulldogs to face Nunez in a 6-4 game with 2 out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Carry on across the diamond for the third out. Leave none, but they get 3. And your score, 6-4, heading into the top of the 5th inning from Braddock Field. Actually, it's a 5-4 game. The scoreboard is off. We have some defensive changes for the Bulldogs. Now playing left field in place of Zamozas. It's number 12, Yanil Tavares. Tavares coming in for Somozas. Alvaro Perez is still the pitcher for the Bulldogs, and he'll face the second baseman, Dylan Prince. Strikeout for Perez, the first out in the top of the 5th. With 1 out, Javen Francois, the catcher for the Firebirds, steps into the box to face Perez. That one's hit high and deep in the right center field. And you could say bye, bye, bye to that one. Javen Francois. The scoreboard was wrong for a while, but it's the top of the 5th inning. Kobe Carrion, the shortstop for the Firebirds, steps in on a 6-4 game. Carrion draws a walk with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. And that's going to bring up the third baseman, Gabriel Milano. Third out of the inning. The Firebirds leave 1, but they get 1. And we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, 6-4 in favor of the Redbirds of Doral Academy. And you're watching FSPN.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Nunez is still on the mound for the Firebirds with Rubalcaba at first base, Prince at second, Carrion's the shortstop, Milano's at third base, Hernandez in right field, Pardo's in center field, and Cespedes in left field for Doral. Up to bat for Braddock is the catcher, Mikey Sanchez. Hard hit line drive in the right center field. It could be extra bases. Here comes Sanchez into second base for a double. The courtesy runner at second base is number 13, Marcos Rodriguez. He's coming in to run for the catcher, Sanchez. Reyes is the batter for the Bulldogs. The leadoff batter, the second baseman, the senior Adam Hernandez, steps in to face Nunez with a runner on third base in a 6-4 game. After a brief mound visit from the Doral pitching coach, Nunez stays in the game to face Jorge Gonzalez. That one's hit high and deep to center field, but Pardo's there to make the third out of the inning. We head to the top of the sixth, and Doral's leading this semifinal game 3 in Class 6A, 6-4. And you're watching FSPN. Perez opens the top of the 6th inning for the Bulldogs to face Jaden Nunez in a 6-4 game. Caleb Hernandez steps in for the Firebirds in a 6-4 game, top of the 6th inning. In a game that was delayed 2 hours because of lightning. Strikeout for Perez. With 2 outs, the Firebirds send up the center fielder, the senior George Pardo, and he has 2 RBIs on this game already. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning with your score 6-4 from Braddock Field in this Class 6A Regional Semifinal Game 3. You're watching FSPN. Some defensive changes for the Redbirds of Doral. Playing left field now is number 11, Brian Ravello. Ravello, the new left fielder for the Firebirds. Jaden Nunez still on the mound. He's the starter for the Redbirds. The Firebirds are up 6-4 in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Bulldogs will send up to the plate the senior shortstop, Manny Sanchez. That one got a piece of Sanchez, so the leadoff batter for the Bulldogs makes his way to first base with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. With time running out and nightfall creeping in, the Bulldogs are going to send up Marcelo Torres, but not before a mound visit. Torres finally steps in. The tying run is at the plate in the likes of Marcelo Torres. That one's hit hard in the left center field. They're going to hold up Sanchez. Torres is going to go into second base with a stand-up double, and the tying run is on second base for the home Bulldogs with nobody out. Six to 4, bottom of the 6th inning, and nobody out. The home team, the Bulldogs, have runners on second and third base for their third baseman, Brian Martinez, who's the go-ahead run. He'll face the new pitcher, Matthew Paez. Martinez steps in to face Paez, and he drills one to left field, but right at Brian Ravello, and here's the tag up. And he's safe. Sanchez is safe. And the game is 6 to 5 in favor of the Redbirds of Doral. The tying run is at second base. And coming up to bat for the Bulldogs is Sebastian Yamoses. And of course, they give him the free pass. The winning run is now on first base. And the batter will be the first baseman, Adam Sarmiento. With one out, Adam Sarmiento steps in with a chance to tie the game. He hits one over to Milano for the second out. Two outs, bottom of the 6th inning, a one-run game. The Bulldogs have a runner on second base. Brian Nunez is the runner at second base for the Bulldogs. The catcher, Mikey Sanchez, comes into the box to face Matthew Paez. The tying run is on second base with 2 outs, and we're in the bottom of the 6th inning, and we're running out of daylight here at Braddock Field. With the tying run on second base for the Bulldogs, Mikey Sanchez, the catcher, steps in to face Paez, and he hits that one on the ground right at Colby Carrion. Colby gets him for the third out, and we're running out of daylight. The Firebirds are storming the field as if they won the game. The umpires are discussing the outcome of the game. And I see the coaches hugging. So I think that's it. The Doral Firebirds are going to move on to the final series against the San Thomas Aquinas Raiders next Wednesday in Fort Lauderdale. We say goodbye to the Braddock Bulldogs, but a great season for head coach Harold Martinez and all of the seniors here at Braddock. We wish you the very best. This is Uncle Muggs. And that's going to be it from here from Braddock Field. We'll see you on Monday. Miami Springs versus St. Brendan's. Nunez the winner.